So what you see me here doing is a screenshot of the KapersCastles in-game minimap, which is shot at 4K resolution. So it's a good resolution. Then from that I cut it out the water parts and that kind of stuff. So I was left with only the water parts because I know only the land. So I put that on top of a map generated by Dymap itself of the world. I laid that over. This is all done because we wanted to expand the minimap, but we weren't so sure about how big where stuff should be. So what I'm doing right now, I added a second layer with that minimap, so I can just hover them over and move them around. And I'm resizing it to fit snugly in between the old map and the new map. And you can see, for example, the desert on the left side of the minimap itself, which I'm trying to fix right now, and then I'm trying to fix it downwards, and then the desert again. And that way I'm fixing the minimap so the orientation is right and the size is right. This way, if we're gonna expand the minimap, we can simply see from, well, we are right there right now, and if we expand it like this, and then it would work great. So and here you see me changing it a little bit. As you can see, it's pretty solid, where it should be, in my opinion. The minimap is really accurate at the moment, which is pretty amazing for a map that's around 9 kilometers in size. So yes. So what you can see here, we are looking at the elfin area. That's the forest in the main screen. There is an area right here with things in the ground. Those are big path in the ground, and that's really in the real world, and that just fits so snugly and so perfectly. It was awesome to see that the minimap was that kind of accurate. It's just cool. So I'm now hopping into MCEdit. MCEdit, I know I'm using a really old version of MCEdit, but this is the version I know, and this is the version I like to use because I just know where everything is and how to use it, and it still works for the new worlds, although the new blocks are not supported. Because you cannot see the textures of it and texture packs, and there are little bits, but I all know them. Although it has some performance issues because it's quite so slow sometimes. But what I'm doing right now is copying this cross section to make a schematic of it to later input that into the world. So then I save the world and go to a different world, and in this world there's a free build. But we don't want that right here because I exported that free build to a different world, so it's going to be separate and you have separate inventory, so I just deleted that. I skipped the loading time, by the way, a few times here. Also because the loading time is quite long a lot of times, and I'm just skipping ahead in time for you, so you don't have to wait on that. Then there's one more thing to do. This spawn area, this building you can see right here, that black white thingy. That's too close to the minimap. You can see loading in on the left upside, so I copy that and I fill it with air to move it on. Later, in a later episode, we need to change the teleporting commands that there is on that island. But for now, I'm just gonna move it to the edge, and I'm not so sure if this MCEdit version. I'm not so sure. I used to have a version that could not generate new chunks. So what I wanted to do is just get it as close, the structure as close to as possible to the edge that has chunks that are loaded, because I'm not so sure if I can pass structures outside the world without them being deleted, because I used to have a version where you would pass stuff into MCEdit in a not loaded world, and it would not generate those chunks, which would give a little bit of problem. Also, you see another problem here with MCEdit. The view distance, I need to make that smaller and make that bigger again to let things load again, because it has some problems because that wrote red chunks on the top. yeah, that's not working that well. So I'm now just removing some random villages and stuff. Loading in the mini thing, the newbie spawn, the spawn where the first players get to get that to explain them how the server a little bit works. So I'm now saving some more blueprints of stuff just in case I did something wrong and I need to look at them later on. So around now it would be time to go for the big boy. There is an old castle I managed to recover. I'm gonna pass it into the world and we're gonna smooth it out later on. So I need to find a place, and it used to be a swamp, and that swamp should be somewhere here. So I'm just waiting for MCEdit to load in. As you can see, this is around 3 times speed or something, so it's quite slow, although I have a 4.2 GHz processor, 4 cores, etc, etc. It just isn't optimized for that kind of stuff, because I think this MCEdit version doesn't allow me to use more than 2 cores, because I don't see much happening in the cores. So what I'm doing right now is just to make sure that the water level is right. I check the bottom, and what I see is that this is a really old world, and the water level was an I63 instead of I64, which is a difference. And I see that there's quite a lot of air area, and yeah, I'm gonna copy it without error. So I'm just lining up that boat at the right side, so it looks a bit nice. I checked all the other stuff, and they look decent enough, but I need to do some more work in it. I'm gonna copy it without error, which will fill the entire dungeon underneath with yeah, I first made the mistake without not copying with error, but I realized that was a mistake, and I redid it later. I think I did an undo and then I read it, because you can see what happens right now. Sorry, if you copy it with error, because if you go to the ground or to like on the right side, you can see it better. There are no blocks right there because I copied the error with it, but you can also only write over new blocks in MCEdit and not copy error. So I'm just gonna undo, then line it up quickly, because MCEdit is slow in loading, so I can line it up pretty well. And then I'm just gonna look for, well, how does the height goes, line up the water level again, and then pass it in again, but then without the copy error button. As you can see on the left side, from under you have import, copy biomes, copy water, copy air. I set it copy error, I clicked that off, so it doesn't work. I think what I did with this one also is cancel the copy biome thing, yeah, like that, because then the biomes are still smooth. The transition of the biomes of the new stuff is still smooth with the old one, and because the biomes don't really affect the terrain that much, but only the looks. I did it this way because I know I want to preserve the old world. So what we did after that is went to the sand castle. I read it couple of times this, so don't worry about it. This is me trying to find the place for the sand castle, and later on I decided when I was in game that it wasn't a good idea to do it like this, because the sand castle should be facing the sun, because it's a temple for the sun, a sun temple, but it was not facing to the sun. So that's kind of awkward. So later on what I did is I undid all this, not this session by the way, I undid all this after I was done completely and saved it and went in game and uploaded to the saver, etc. And undo this and then replace it and turn it 90 degrees counterclockwise. So it's now facing with the entrance to the left side. Northeast, southwest. It's the west side, so the left side right now instead of up, because now facing up. So that doesn't quite work. I'm also looking at this and I'm like, oh, what are these chunks? These chunks are where the free build is. So the free build used to be right here, and what I'm now trying to copy in is admin island, I think. So I'm just waiting for the stuff to load. I'm like, is it this one? Is it this one? Because the thumbnails, of course, are not that great because this is an old version of MCEdit. So I see a few more village that I do not want, so I select it. I select chunks and then I delete the blocks. I couldn't find the button in the first time, but that doesn't matter. I deleted all the blocks, so there are no villages anymore. So now gonna put in admin island. Admin island is also something I recover from the old saves, and this was lost for around 3 years. So you can imagine how old this world even is if this was lost for 3 years. This was all built 3 years ago. Around 3 years or not. No, 4 years even. Because it was... No, wait. This is end 2012. That's 5 years. Oh my... I'm getting old, guys. It was built 5 years ago. And I still know that I was walking around this place back then. But I recovered it. Because we had apparently a backup. One of doesn't. And I mean, we have like maybe a terabyte of backups of KapersCastles. This is not even funny anymore. So I went through quite a lot and like, well, it should be around that time period. So I went back. So what I'm doing right now, by the way, in MCEdit is you can see my my image, my person, and he's exactly at the coordinates, the spawn coordinates of admin island. So I'm trying to line it up a little bit with the entrance of one of the buildings. So we have a decent and a nice amount, nice place of a spawn area instead of random in a mountain or something like that. Also what I did is I tried to find the boats. I placed them in the world, which was a big mistake, but I changed that later on also with the sandcastle because I didn't want to do it on top of his castle. I placed it on top of the water, and later on I removed all the ground around it because on this time period I wasn't sure if we needed the ground, and apparently we did not really need it, but there were some cool things that I also later copied out of it. So I passed it in, so that's why it just skipped in time. There's also one nice thing, that's cross we talked about in the beginning of the episode. I wanted to give that a place. I know I should not give it a place because someone else wanted to give it a place, and I'm like, well, I could just give it a random place because he probably will never input it because he didn't do that for the last 5 years. So I'm just gonna give it a place and we're gonna just roll with it, and it's gonna be in there because I think these stuff, people really paid a lot of time building this stuff, and I think it needs to be seen and it needs to be there. So I just pass it in the world, and I think this would be a nice spot. I later in a moment I will go around with a brush tool to remove quite a lot of things, and later I also do that in the server to make this smooth. So if you go to the server right now, which is mc.kapers-caztles .eu, you can see the server all in the comments. You can go here and you can see that it's really smooth and nice, and you can walk around. I highly recommend going to the server and having a look because it's quite a cool server, if you ask me. Oh, and if you wonder why there's sometimes a silence in the voice or a cut in my voice, that's because I'm a little bit sick, and that's also why my voice is so weird. And I just cut that out and recapture past the narration stuff. But what I'm doing right here is using a brush tool, a ball brush spare. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's funny that I know so much English word that I do not really, I'm sure about how to pronounce it. So I'm just removing a little bit so it looks decent. Later on I will, although I just want to make it decent, but later on I will just go on the server and fix it up so it looks really good. But here I just want to get those big things done because this building is quite hard to do in the server. No, not quite hard. It takes longer to do in the server than in MCEdit, so I just do it in MCEdit because in MCEdit you can see how you're what you're gonna cut out, and in on the server it's just trial and error and do it in that way. So this is the last side that I'm cutting. So it used to be on a pretty steep
hill mountain area, and now it isn't, so I want to get rid of those mountains and get it a little bit clearer so it looks good enough. It's starting to look better. Also in the server you can simply smooth stuff out, so it really looks smooth. But on the MC Edit doesn't allow you. At least this version does not allow me to do such things. So now I'm quite done with this. I'm just gonna save it. And one more clip, which is a bit random clip, because this is the clip that should be in front of this episode instead of right here, because this is the part where but I've recovered it later on, and that's why I didn't integrate it. But this is the part where I'm gonna cut out the area. So I'm just gonna find admin island. This is an old backup, and I found admin island. So what I would do is select admin island. And if you, by the way, interested in this old MZ Edit version, I don't think you can really find it. If you found it, please comment down below, because I would like to update to a little bit later version instead of the MZ Edit version 2. But anyway, I'm just copying the admin island. I cut it out most of the time. This time I didn't. Normally I would cut it out, so I'm really sure about that I got the whole structure. I'm now looking for the sand castle. This is right here. I spotted a glimpse, so I threw, well, let's cut that out then, shall we? So I selected, selected a little bit more of the area that I wanted. Then I made it a little bit smaller. This is done to make sure I don't waste too much time and space and effort in passing stuff around. So I'm now looking for the 3 saplings, which is always closer than I imagined. These are, well, I say 3, but it is not 3 saplings, because there's one broken right here, and the other one, there's one black one, one green one, and a black green one, because those broke and got combined. And there is one big green one, oh no, one black and one blue one, and those got combined in the middle. And there's one big green one which is also broke. These are from, yeah, the little like pirates that took the ships and stole them and used them for their own goods and their own will. So I'm deciding, well, how big do I want this to go? How far do I want to copy stuff? Because I want to copy everything on it, but not too much and not too less, because too much will be performance issues and hard drives, and too less would cause in half structures and that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to do that. So there's one more thing to do, and that's copying the swamp. The swamp that we'll talk about, it came from this place. You might recognize it, which is quite funny. But this is getting to the end of the episode really soon. So this is the last thing I want to show you in this episode. I'm just selecting it again, not too much, not too less. I'm looking around, I see dungeons and I see stuff, and I'm just looking, yeah, I think I got everything right now. I don't want that bridge to be copied, so I'm just copying that, not that. So that's about it. Also the cross I'm gonna select right now, I think, maybe. I mean, I'm at least saving those things. But for now, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have had a nice day and have a wonderful time.